Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's Amira Storm, and welcome to Storm Talks podcast. Finally, by high demand, I have finally launched my podcast and I'm filming. Inshallah, my intentions is to bring positivity and value to all my watchers and viewers, talking real topics with honesty, accountability. We want to live and learn through this podcast, and inshallah, you may benefit from it, and we get better, and you get better, bi'idnillah. And we're going to talk about all topics, not just relating to Islam. We're going to talk about relationships, life, love, being a woman, femininity, and yeah, the list goes on. So, inshallah, you guys enjoy it. Please subscribe, hit the notifications. And yeah, I'm excited. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Storm Talks podcast. Hello, everyone, to everyone who is locked in. We are here today with Sister Soul and Sister Bint Affins with another episode of, raw talks and honest talks and everything. So today we're going to discuss the hijab and modesty and what it means to us and
the
struggles and the
blessing.
conditions of it. So yeah, like, what does hijab mean for you? Like, I want to know that. Like, what is your relationship to hijab and what does it mean to you?
So for me, like, I guess this whole notion that hijab is a journey, right? At the beginning, when you understand hijab, you don't really, like, for me specifically, I didn't understand it how it should be understood. I think I was very influenced to what is everyone doing with hijab, right? But for me, hijab would literally be like a conceal, something to cover myself from the opposite gender. As if I was to put it bluntly, it would be that, right? And obviously, I'm talking about the physical, the character and all of that. They are more of the characteristics someone should have. But in terms of the hijab, I feel like the most important thing for me would be just a concealment or a coverment from the opposite gender.
Okay.
If I was to define it literally.
And are you oppressed? Are you forced to wear it?
No. I think it depends, right? Because some women are. Some women are genuinely oppressed and they're not allowed to do certain things or say
because
certain
it wasn't
things.
their choice,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But there are women, I would say, like where we are, we have that freedom, right, to choose. And if someone is oppressing us, we can actually speak out and an action will be taken, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like in the UK, I feel like for me, it is a choice. Do you know what I mean?
Because you have the choice.
And you?
I find it so liberating. So
Yes.
liberating apart from the deen side, when it's something that you wear for Allah Azza wa Jal. But I have found blessings that I didn't expect. The protection of beauty standards from the society, not having to look a certain way, not feeling this pressure for the hijab, and on top of that with the niqab. For me, especially on social media, I don't care like how I look like today, but what I'm gonna say it. However I look, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we do have this pressure of making sure that we're looking good on the camera. And I do understand that we all have insecurities. I do have them as well. But alhamdulillah, it's not stopping me from doing what I love to do in obviously in my case. But hijab, I think it's, for some people, it's a love and hate relationship, and it's okay to say so. That's like we were speaking just behind the cameras. Like, we all have our personal struggles. Some people, it's going to be hijab. For other people, it's going to be music. For some people, it's going to be clothing or boyfriend or like whatever it is that we are trying to. But I think when you understand that hijab, it's only bettering you. You do not have to be perfect, because I think many sisters, we spoke about it on the previous podcast, of this image of perfection. And some people, they always say, I'm not ready for it. Not because I've got this and this and that. And I'm going to tell you one thing that was advised to me when I was 16 by a sister I never saw again, Anissa. And it's like Allah has sent her that day. And that's it, khalas, for her purpose, subhanAllah. And may Allah bless her if I ever cross her path again. She was much older. And she was saying, like, it was about prayer, I think, or hijab, I can't remember. And she said, you do not need to be perfect. These things will help you to better yourself.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like how hijab, sometimes, like when you have like a certain entourage and certain frequentation, like hijab's going to stop you from going maybe to certain places or doing certain things. So it was more like a protection. And she was right. She said, you need to wear it to understand it. And that was the biggest sentence. People need to understand that if you want to embrace the beauty of hijab and the blessing and the protection and the barakah that comes with it, because when you do one step to Allah, Allah makes 10 step 10 to you.
Yeah.
But we don't picture it like in terms of life. It means Allah brings you ease
Yeah.
in so many, and He brings you protection from bad people, bad men, bad friends, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when I started to wear my hijab, it was very shocking in my town because no one used to wear the hijab.
Oh yeah, because you're from
France,
France,
the
Paris.
very Islamophobic France, Paris. And back in the days, I was one of the first one to wear the hijab at my young age. So it was very shocking and very difficult because I remember the first day when I wore it, I literally lost all my friends because I thought I became that saint. And I was not like in the same, I was still the same girl, like, you know, with the same love for music or love for this or love for that. And they cut me off. But me, without realizing, that was the best thing that could happen to me at that time.
Yeah.
You know, because I was starting, it's true, a new journey. And they were starting to do another journey as well. That if Allah Azza wa Jalla didn't guide me at that time, because it's always, exactly, I would have gone off. And the first day when I wore the hijab, I'm going to tell you quickly the story, how it started. So I didn't wear the hijab. So I used to wear it on and off, only on Jumu'ah day. You have to understand that in France, it was very uncommon for a young girl to wear hijab or a young woman to wear the hijab. We went to the mosque. I met with my revered group of friends. We used to learn together. And I had like this Caribbean friend. I mean, may Allah bless her. She was very powerful. When I'm in Caribbean, I'm in Caribbean with the spice. You know what I'm saying? Like with the chili on top. Like, you know, she was har. Like,
With
you know,
the
she was
jerk
har.
sauce.
Exactly. She was har, like we say in our language.
Yeah.
So she used to say, like, she would blend like in your face, like she would say like what she thinks. She didn't have like those filters. No, that was strong. You know, I don't know you, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like she was like that type of person. But alhamdulillah, Allah made her that way just for me that day. Let me explain to you. We are in the train. We come back from the mosque, from Jumu'ah, and I came close to my station, like to my train station. And I'm like, ready to remove it. And she's next to me. I have to tell you, like with the Caribbean way. She was like, are you going to remove like your hijab lamp? And I was like, excuse me, because there was people in the train and she was speaking loud. And I was like, yeah, but you know, my parents like, and if you die now and the car kills you, what are you going to say to Allah? You know, with the accent, like, what are you going to say? Not loud. And I was at the door pressing like, and I was praying to Allah, open that door in the middle. I will jump on the rails. Please open that door. Because she was speaking loud.
Yeah.
But subhanallah, think about that. She was homeless at the time and I didn't know. She was being kicked out for wearing the hijab. So I understand where her anger and
passion.
like she said like you Arabic people, like you wear the hijab like you want, like no one's gonna tell you nothing. And I was like, and I was like, I have my struggle emotionally. I need to be ready. But for her, it felt like, what are you talking about?
She felt like you was making excuses.
But it was excuses that at the time felt valid for me. You know. So you know when the train opened, and like she said something like "Fear Allah," whatever. And me, I'm Algerian. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna stay quiet. She's a sister. She's struggling. Please, God, open that. So the doors open. I'm like rumbling, like, what the hell she thinks she is, like talking to me like that in front of everyone. Like she doesn't know me, like she doesn't know my struggle. My parents gonna kill me and this and that. And then the anger comes. And then I thought to myself, Nusi, calm down. Think about what she wanted to say. Think about the meaning, not the way she said it. Think, because wallahi, I couldn't remove the pin under my neck. Because I kept thinking, if I die now, what is my excuse? Wallahi, her words
was in your
were
head.
loud, just like in the train, were loud in my brain.
Wow.
And I was walking, I was trying to remove it, Amira. But I couldn't. And I was thinking, subhanAllah, I was like, how am I going to go home and explain that to my mom? She doesn't know my journey at all. They are Muslims, alhamdulillah, practicing, but she doesn't know the journey. So I come home, I remove it just in front of the door, go home, and I pretend I'm helping my mom peeling potatoes, things I never do. I'm going in the kitchen, Mom, you okay? And this and that. So I sit and I peel with her the potatoes. And she found it awkward, like,
What are you
she
doing?
was like, wait, she's trying to say something. I was like, and then I got up and like, Mom, I'm going to wear the hijab and I'm going to, something like that. And I just rumbled. She was like, wait, come back. But my mom was extremely concerned because I was starting uni. So she was thinking like, friends, this as like, mom, it's okay. Uni not going to tell me something. They're not going to tell me anything because you're allowed at university. You're not allowed primary, you're not allowed college, you're not allowed secondary. But university, they consider you as adult.
Okay, so you
So
can wear it.
from the weird, sick reasons, like. So, but the issue is with my mom, ladies, women were coming, for the Wednesday coffee, when like they meet each other, we're starting to talk. To say like, oh, she must be in a sect, or she must have done something wrong for her to cover, because that's the way they perceived hijab. And I was like, and one day, subhanAllah, they come for coffee. And I'm in the room that is connected to the living room. And I heard them speaking, and they're asking her, like, oh, yeah, but are you not scared that she's in a sect, she's in extremism? Like, something like that, or maybe something wrong. She was like, all those questions. I made a dream last night, and I'm listening because I'm very scared of how my mom will react. Like, because if she's angry, she's not going to be happy with me. And she said, I made a dream about her. And Allah has answered like my worry. And she describes the dream, and she said, like, I dreamt of her with a roll of white silk. The roll of fabric? She say, and she was opening it like this, throwing it. And I'm not going to be emotional again, but because you don't understand how we changed the narrative completely.
Yes.
The fact that Allah Azza wa Jalla sent that dream to comfort my mother,
your mom,
to put sakina in her heart, do not worry. She didn't know I was doing that one. I was like encouraging sisters to wear hijab, and that's the topic of the day.
Yeah.
She had no idea, because I was scared she would think like I'm in a sect or I'm in a group, and the way she said it, you could hear like the change of tone and how Allah suited her heart. And I was like, yeah, Allah, and completely changed the game from pounds that were a bit worried. She was at ease, and that's not from me.
She caught her tawakkul in Allah.
It was Allah that sent her like the ease. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
So that was
wow.
my journey, alhamdulillah,
Subhanallah.
and the first day I wanted to wear it was
That
to
is
defy
so
my
nice.
father. My father said like at the time, it was the first time that the sisters got kicked out of school
For wearing hijab.
for
in
wearing the
France.
hijab.
Yeah.
Because before, no issues. No issues. And we're watching that. And I'm very feminist. I'm young and I'm I was 16 at the time. It was before what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because the hijab journey was at 18.
Yeah.
And my dad is Algerian. My dad is strong, You don't make too much noise if you're sitting near him. You need to keep we were like old school like that, okay? Watching TV. And my father is not practicing at the time. And he says something like, oh, they're trying to fight the ayah of the Quran. I'm like, my father mentioning Quran? And I was like, is he trying to say something? Like, if he thinks like we're going to wear that, we're not going to do that. I was like, no, hijab was invented by men's. Listen, it was invented by Algerians. Specifically, I said, not Moroccan, not Tunisian. It was invented by Algerian to submit the. He was like, and he turned to me. We never have like those religious talk with my dad. He said, did you read the Quran? I said, no. But you know what? I'm going to read it just to prove your point.
Wow.
And that's how Allah guided me. Because I went and I read it. And I was looking for the ayah to say that he's wrong, because I was scared that he's going to impose it on us. Yeah. He's going to use it against us. As girls, because
he was going to force it on you to start wearing
Maybe
the
he was
hijab.
trying to say something. And this is how my journey to Allah started.
Wow.
I opened the Quran, never opened it before, to prove something to my father.
Sabab.
But now you had to deal with a girl that wanted to wear the hijab very early.
Wow.
And that was difficult for him.
Wow.
But alhamdulillah, that's my journey. I'm sorry, I overspoke.
No, that's a beautiful story,
but it's
honestly.
just like,
and I'm sure a lot of people will relate to it, especially in France, like the Islamophobia and the struggle and the strength and the bravery that you had to even put your hijab on in that time where they really hate Muslims in France.
And that's why French sisters do not joke with hijab. If you see them, we have our French jilbab. We have a certain way you will recognize the French sisters. Because we have fought so much for it. We ain't ready for a piece of fashion to give it up, or for a bit of pressure, because we defied the whole society, sometimes family included. Sometimes I had to let go career, like the studies I wanted to do, because they said hijab was forbidden. And I had to do hijrah, to leave my family, the first person in the whole family, for the sake of hijab and the sake of them not doing that to my children, my daughters. So that was
mashallah.
But it comes with a test, but Allah Azza wa Jalla give you give you a strength of wearing it
wearing
with
it.
passion.
Yeah.
And I had a passion for fashion.
No, that is a beautiful
Mm.
story, and I just think like a lot of people can learn from it. What about you? When did you start wearing your
I
hijab?
started wearing it at like 17.
Okay.
17, but before then I actually did not believe the hijab was
Exactly.
fard.
Yeah.
Really?
I
It's
didn't
an
believe it
Algerian
was
thing.
fard. And when actually, believe it or not, when I actually saw
Really?
niqabis online,
Yeah.
because I never saw them in my area, I just saw them
Mhm.
on the internet. I actually did hate the way it looked.
Wow,
I hated
subhanallah.
niqabis because I
Wow.
thought they were taking the religion to an extreme. Because of the way they looked, and it was the images online where they're very black, like the black attire,
Yeah.
the black niqabs. There was always this association that it was an extreme thing, right?
Oh,
And I
yes,
never met a
subhanallah.
niqabi. There was no niqabis in my town. So I wore the hijab. I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find out if it's fard or if it's not fard. That was kind of my mission, right? To find out if it's fard or not, because
Subhanallah.
no one taught me about hijab.
At 17 as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
this so like before 17. So I wore it at 17.
Mhm.
Like before 17, I was trying to come to the understanding of what is hijab.
Mhm.
So like I just go on YouTube, look at. I think Dawman was actually around. I was actually looking at
Okay,
Dawman.
alhamdulillah.
I was looking at a lot of sisters, hijab tutorials, whatever it is. I was just trying to gain knowledge. And then I actually found out hijab was fard. Like you have to wear it. So then at 17, I said to myself, like, either I'm gonna wear it when I hit 17 on the birthday, on the dots, like when I blow those candles, the next day I'm
Wow.
gonna wear hijab, or I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wear it.
Okay.
Because if I kept saying tomorrow, I'm never gonna wear it. So I made like a deadline. On 17, I'm gonna wear the hijab. So I wore it in terms of like the headscarf, and I kept it on from then on. I did struggle with it, and I did have thoughts, obviously, to take it off and etc. etc. But
What were the struggles? What did you
I think
find
the struggles
difficult?
for me was like not knowing how to wear it, in sense of like
You didn't find yourself
styles and
beautiful like in
outfits.
it.
Not beautiful, but
That's my
like
struggle.
No, but that's everyone's struggle.
Yeah.
You know.
not beautiful, but like like styling it, because you're so used to like
Thank
wearing
you.
whatever. Like when you wear the hijab, it's like, okay, now I have to reconsider everything that I'm wearing. So like the trousers, the tops have to be long, etc. And I'm talking about hijab in the understanding of the headscarf alone. So then that was the main struggle for me, trying to style it, and I was getting frustrated. I was actually getting really frustrated with myself, because just the hijab would annoy me, like being on me, it would annoy me.
Yeah, that's true.
So
No
then
one's-
after that, obviously, as you gain more knowledge, you try to
Sabah.
implement that, right? And you gain more understanding, and you have to kind of apply it. So from 17, I guess, until like now I'm 27, it was just constant seeking knowledge and trying to apply it. So that was it for me. Yeah.
Wow.
But she mentioned something that actually like really triggered me. Like when she said the struggle of hijab. This is how I created my first jilbab by hand. Like I was sewing it because I find
Wow.
the hijab, and that was 15 years ago. Because I had the struggle of finding like, you know, like, because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. At the time, most of manufacturers were men.
Oh.
So that's the
They
thing
don't
that
understand.
they don't understand. So
what
even when they
women
give you
need
jilbab,
with the hijab,
they give you
practically.
like a thick fabric that is so heavy. And I remember my sister, this is how she started Madina Paris. She said, this is designed by a man that do not understand. This is overpowering. This is too heavy for the head. It gives us headache. The arms are over like covering our hands, and it's not practical. And this is how she designed her first jilbab. And then everyone kept asking her, because she made it not tighter, just more practical for daily. And she was very proud of her jilbab. She liked to wear nice fabric. She likes to wear a piece of a khimar on top, a hijab on top of her jilbab. And she had her signature style and had my signature style. And every time people used to ask us, and I think what people don't understand, you can wear hijab with confidence. What people are missing, and Binta Aten mentioned it, it was style. Because style is a sense of identity.
And we will get into that, actually.
Because I think the hijabs were ugly, right? They were just like, it was
the
just
ones that you
and
just
the
put
niqabs,
on.
even the niqabs that they had at the time.
The egghead one.
It was like elastic band, right?
They're coming
that would
back
literally stop, your
trendy.
eyes would pop as you put it on. That's literally, so I think women creating it.
You understand now?
Yeah, because I remember
It's
putting
not
that first one on.
funny.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And my sister used to say,
Even
like,
the
I want to see
line,
that
you know
man
the
with that
line,
jilbab.
it would not be straight.
You can see it's not women
Not
that
the
designed
eyes
it.
popping.
And because for
That
me,
is so funny.
the best people to create or design a jilbab are sisters that are actually wearing it.
Yeah.
So we know all the intricacy, we know all the details.
What we
Little
need, what we
tiny-
don't need, like
you know
the
how
zip,
fussy
you know, the
we
are.
nursing zip.
Yes.
These
Oh,
things weren't
yeah.
considered.
No,
Exactly.
that's so
the heaviness, the
true.
lightness of the fabric. It cannot be too showing, but it cannot be as well too
Yeah.
loose, because we
Yeah.
cannot handle that That's weight of the fabric on the
Yeah.
head.
And style.
Yeah,
I think
that's
style
true.
is really important because
Style,
it makes you want to wear it. Like
Yeah.
you feel
because
good in it.
Yeah.
you see,
Yeah.
we are three hijabis, and yet we're wearing the three, but we are three covered people, but yet we wear it differently. And I think
Differently.
when my sister started Madina Paris, is the fact that we used to adapt the trainers with a jilbab and a piece of hijab. It was our jahiliyyah, like our sense of fashion, our love for
Yeah.
fashion. And we were convinced that we were capable, that the jilbab is a beautiful piece on its own.
Yeah.
It doesn't need like much
Much
things.
extra
It's
stuff.
just to make
Yeah.
women rediscover the beauty of jilbab. Why do we have rubbish fabric for a jilbab? You know
Yeah.
why? Why do we have like a heavy thingy that has to look ugly? Like someone said, like
Yeah.
remember like that trend
No,
that went on?
Medina
Yes,
Paris
yeah.
has definitely got some
It's about variety.
amazing pieces.
Yeah, I think women
and
like to
like
choose.
It's about
don't they?
Yeah,
diversity.
diversity.
Giving 15 colors per
Yeah.
model.
We were talking about that the other day, isn't
Exactly.
it? Because Bin Athens, I will speak
Yeah.
about my
Oh,
journey with
journey, yeah.
hijab
Yes,
as well. But
mashallah.
we were speaking about the like hijab and the conditions of it, and like I had mentioned that everyone has different cultures and styles.
Yes.
So it's so like
Important to
important
respect
to
it.
implement those styles,
Thank
but
you.
in the right ways. But
Yeah.
my hijab story, because
Bismillah, tafaddali.
Bismillah.
Mhm.
um so you played a big part
Yeah, okay.
in my hijab
Mashallah,
story. I don't know
alhamdulillah.
if you remember,
Alhamdulillah.
but
Yeah, I do remember. Like we spoke about it.
I so my journey with Islam in general, anyway, like I love theology. I
Yeah.
love to read. I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran.
Mashallah,
I
Allah
like to
Mazal.
learn about Judaism.
This is how you
I
connect. You
grew
learn.
up in Speaker's Corner. That was
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like my upbringing, like
Mashallah.
my
Safe space,
uncles
yeah, mashallah.
debating about religion and learning about this and learning about that, and I
Mashallah,
always
Allahumma barik.
loved that. So growing up, my parents were never forceful on us. So they never forced. My dad told us, like, every time you leave the house, angels will curse you. Like,
Okay.
he did say it. He said,
Yeah, okay.
hijab is important,
Okay.
and from the time you leave your house to the time you come back, the angels will be cursing you. But
Did
it's
you feel
your
that guilt?
choice.
Or not really? Or you went after a time?
Because I never had that in-depth
Understanding.
conversation about hijab like that. I didn't feel that guilt growing up, and I was very into school and friends and stuff like that. I grew up in the UK, like London, so to me it was just
very important,
very nonchalant. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't that serious. But when I got to college, a lot of us would have conversations about religion and stuff, and that would really like kind of bring my so I started with the knowledge first, like learning a lot, and I'm still a student of knowledge, like
we all
I'm
are.
still
Alhamdulillah,
learning,
we all are.
but wanting to speak about things with facts, that was for me, like knowing about all of these things like religion and
So
Christianity and this and that.
What were your struggles, and what was the trigger for you that you think this is it?
So for me,
I'm ready,
I never really so because it wasn't forced on me to wear hijab, it was completely my choice. I kind of just led my life like it was normal.
Okay.
Like just not wearing it, but my heart, I'm still with the deen and trying to practice and trying to learn and whatever. So it's obviously with time where you learn more, and I'm not gonna lie, social media has been a huge help because you have videos of the deen and you have videos of like Islam and hijab, and then you see more Muslim like sisters and stuff
and other views.
Yeah, so at uni I kind of had a very rough patch with life, and I kind of got more closer to Islam after uni and all of this. And I would say a big savior for me was getting married and having my child. So that really brought me
you.
Yes, it brought me closer to the deen and my salah and everything like that. But there's then the guilt started to set in with the hijab.
Everything you learned from your dad, mashallah.
Then come into Bit of Truth show.
Oh yeah, this is where we met.
We had to wear obviously the hijab for the show.
Yeah.
And I was on it and speaking and discussing the deen and all of this stuff, and
people didn't realize
people
that she
didn't
wasn't a
realize I
hijabi.
wasn't a hijabi, and
She was
people
just
would
being
be like,
respectful.
she's not even wearing her hijab
Properly,
properly,
yeah,
and
Oh.
yeah.
all of this. But for me, behind the scenes, I kind of started feeling like hypocrisy.
Mm.
Like, I can't talk about the deen if I'm not practicing it fully. And I wanted,
But
it's
I
the
didn't
want.
really like
it wasn't the
yeah.
hypocrisy, but it was the want.
Yes,
I
yes,
started
yes.
to want to
She
wear
wanted,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But one day I think I did reach out to you,
Yes,
and I
yes,
just
and we
said, you
spoke.
know, and she just bluntly said, like, you're just a very smart person. Like, why?
Yeah,
Why
for
are you
me,
not wearing it?
you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, you meet people that are really weak in personality. They're very, they don't know much about deen, and you understand like their journey, or they have a very harami life, and you
Yeah.
understand like it takes time.
Mm.
But when I met this amazing, smart woman,
She made me
and
feel
she-
stupid.
no,
She
no,
was like,
that was the
why you not?
reverse.
No,
It
exactly.
made sense. Like, why?
Yeah.
You must have like a hell of an excuse
Yeah.
to justify that a smart woman that knows the khair, that knows her deen, and it's sincere. She's not hypocrite. She's sincere. She's just like, there is an obstacle. I knew there was an obstacle, and
Yeah.
everyone has their own. Why, Amira? And I was like, and I think
Yeah.
I asked you the question really
Yeah,
sincerely.
it was so
It was
sincere, but
yeah.
I felt stupid when you asked me.
Oh, sorry. I
No,
didn't
it was good, because it was like,
you realized you were
I was
smart.
like,
and
actually, why?
just like Amina told
It
me in
was
the
a
train.
big
like,
question. Yeah, it was like that
Why?
same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Like a kick in my
Yeah.
bum.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why are you not wearing it? And I was
Yeah.
like, actually, why am I not wearing it?
It makes you think, right? It's
It
like
made
that trigger
me
that you
think.
need.
Yeah, it made me think, and I just thought, I have to start wearing it. Like,
And
it
then
was
you-
just a click, and
You mentioned the
obviously-
struggle.
Yes, and then wearing it,
Yeah.
it is a struggle.
It is, and
You
to keep
know,
it, it's
to
another
keep
one.
it is a
Yeah.
struggle, and it's not perfect. My hijab is not the best at all times, and I know there's conditions that we spoke about, and there are things that I can be better, but for me it's like, although this is the longest time I've ever worn hijab, like,
Alhamdulillah. And I'm
ever
proud of
in
you.
my life, and
And I'm proud of you.
and I'm happy, and I don't imagine taking it off.
And I'm
now.
proud for every single sister that's
Yes,
watching
I'm
us
so proud.
that is trying. Even
Yeah.
though you're coming to a time you're removing it and you're trying again.
Yes,
Mashallah. That
that's
means
even
that is even
good.
better, because it
Yeah.
shows how much you are trying. You're not giving up
Yes.
totally.
No, exactly.
So
'Cause
keep trying.
It's hard, and we have
And it's an ups and down journey.
We
No one
have that
speaks about
nifs and
it.
the desire. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
saying, I think to you, that every summer it gets hard for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
because
For everyone, even
everyone.
for me,
summer, I just wanna
even
wear
for
the
me and
summer
Bint Aten,
dresses.
Everyone.
on different levels. But
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
it gets hard.
Mm.
Like the niqab in summer is not the same. Even my hijab,
Yeah.
like length, is not the.
I think girls in
It's-
general, they want to look nice, right? They want to wear dresses. They
Yes.
want to feel
We
the
want
hair
the
in their
colours,
wind.
but the
Yeah.
heat as
They
well.
want to look nice.
No, but the
Exactly.
heat as well.
Even
No
the
one-
heat, yeah.
Yeah, even the
Yeah.
heat.
But as a woman, like, it's in our nature to want to look nice, right?
Yeah.
So when we are, especially if you're living in the UK, right, and it's summertime, and you're still wearing the same like abayas and the khimar, it's not the same as in like it has to be covered, right?
Diversity,
And you see
that's the
women
secret.
coming out with
yeah.
like their dresses and their hair is blown in the wind,
Yeah.
and just like, I wish I could, not literally, but I wish I could taste
But,
that.
but I just
You know
want
what
to
I
Yeah,
mean?
reassure
no, but
sisters
it's
that it's
true.
normal
But
to
we
feel
know-
like
we're
that.
not
That's
we're
what
not not human, and
Yeah.
I think for me, because I've lived such a long time without it,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I've experienced it. I think it's even harder,
Yeah.
actually, almost, because it's like I know what it's like to just,
Yeah.
So sometimes even now, like, but I see the benefits of it, because
There's
now that
so
I've
many, yeah.
started wearing it, even my daughter just wears it to
You
school by
see?
herself.
Role model. Yes.
Yeah, she wears it on her own, and she wears it by herself. But
Because she
for
sees
m-
the beauty that you don't see.
yes,
You see, and she wants to
she's love
copy
it. I
it.
want to wear my hijab to school and all of this.
It's because children, they copy you, don't they?
Yeah,
They
just like the
emulate, yeah.
lipstick, just
Yeah.
like the makeup or the
Yeah,
shoes, and
yeah,
they want to try
Yeah.
it. They want to,
She's gonna wanna
but
try
she's
that.
trying your hijab because she finds the beauty in it. When maybe the beauty that you don't even see, she sees it and she
Yeah.
wants it as well.
I see a beauty in
Mashallah,
it. I
yeah.
see the class.
Mm.
I see how amazing it looks.
Do you see the
and-
obedience?
Yeah. And that's another thing. The
Yeah.
reason why I did wear it was because I felt like I needed to take that step to be closer to Allah.
Allah,
That was
alhamdulillah.
really it.
Yeah, yeah.
to be
That's what the
honest.
push. That was
Yeah,
the push.
that was
Yeah,
the push.
yeah.
Because if it's for anything
Yeah.
else, to
It
say
won't
that,
last. It won't last.
yeah, like just to say that I'm wearing it to just
Or it's a
cover,
piece of fashion.
that really I would have been wearing
Mm,
it for 1 week.
mm.
But it's literally so I can get closer and take those steps, even if my hijab is not the best,
Yeah.
but just to take
The
those
intention,
steps.
right? The intention is what we get
Yeah.
judged on, right? At the end of this,
Yeah.
there's women that might wear hijab just for the sake of culture or for the sake of
Yeah.
other than Allah. But if your intention is to please Allah and you're constantly striving towards that,
Yeah.
you're going to get reward for that.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing before you do any action is the intention. Like,
The
why am I doing
intention.
this? And getting foundation and building a foundation on that, because then you're going to
Yeah.
have confidence. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? When you wear it, you know why you're wearing it. There are people that wear it just because mum told me to,
Yeah.
or because
Yeah, or my
I go to
husband.
madrasa
Yeah, or
and
my
I wear it
husband.
because I have to. So if you don't know why you're wearing something, it's very easy to kind of
disconnect.
make you go a different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like the
And
most
to make you
important
even
thing,
hate it, you know, I saw
Intention.
some girls that it comes like they have I always call my love relationship with my hijab. And I wrote a letter on Instagram like, dear hijab, like we had our bad days, and I encourage sisters to do it. Tell me about like,
Yeah.
just write a letter. Like, even if you say like you hate it, you hate it. But if you do not verbalize it, you're not going to deal with the why and the
yeah.
how.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see sisters like hating the hijab because of whoever like spoke about it, because the fact that they feel a disconnection between their life and what they're wearing. Sometimes they feel it's stopping them from being free. Free from what?
Yeah.
And you are trying to show beauty to be validated by who?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
desire.
You know,
That's
validation.
one thing I was gonna say.
Validation.
Wearing the hijab taught me so many things about myself that I didn't know.
Me too. And I was only 18.
That
I was
did
thinking,
not know about
what are you
myself.
scared?
Yes.
Who you scared? Who you dressing for?
Yeah.
And this is how you realize how much you're dressing for people.
Yes.
And that is
yeah.
the truth.
No,
And
because we see. I never knew I was that type of person.
No, even
I
me.
didn't think that I was the person that actually seeks validation from others.
Indirectly, it's not like a clear
It's
validation.
not,
It's just
'cause
wanting
I'm not
to please.
Like, but really, when you start wearing hijab, I started feeling like, oh my God, do I look like an auntie?
Yeah.
I look older than my
Yeah, I
age,
get what you
or
mean.
oh my God, it's
And we forget
boring,
who
or-
you're wearing it for.
because I'm not dressing like a young person anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like all these.
It's not like the
thoughts started
jeans. It's not like the
coming into
hoodie,
my
yeah,
head.
West, right?
West for on the highest order
Ah.
at this point. Like I felt like I look old. I look, boring. I'm not like, people are not gonna know how buff I am. Like,
And you
really,
see,
You're
it's
right.
all
You're
about
actually right.
But
Yes, I
yes.
thought.
that's
in
the
the-
whole point. I'm
Yeah.
not meant to look
Yeah.
buff for others. I'm meant to look
Yeah,
good
yeah.
for myself and my husband. Like,
But
that is it.
it's as well reminding yourself, who am I
Yeah.
dressing for?
Yeah.
Who I'm trying to please? If I'm trying to please myself and my husband, let me wear those clothes inside.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to please Allah, let me put those clothes outside where the angel's gonna.
Exactly.
This is the validation I want
Bless
from.
you.
It's from the
Exactly.
Malaika,
Yeah.
because they are the ones that if they see you undressed, listen to that, because that played a role. Like, subhanallah, it really helped me to know that angel from Allah Azza wa Jal were avoiding me. I was like, I'm in trouble, because if angel are not staying with me,
Yeah.
share thing, and the
Yeah.
fact that angel are so obedient to Allah Azza wa Jal that if you undress, they don't stay near you. And this, like, I don't know, maybe we know we have different triggers, but it did matter something. And what you said, the fact that I had to go through the realization, people opinion of me, Sister Soul, mattered. And I was like, I don't accept that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I
No,
don't
it's
accept it.
true.
And sometimes,
so
Amira, I used to go to the extreme to wear clothes I disliked, just to teach my nafs to shut it a bit. No, seriously, I used to wear like thingy, and I was like, you're doing it for Allah. I went a bit to an extreme for a time, but it was good for my nafs, because I have a love for fashion.
Yeah.
It's like through my
It was
fashion,
almost like a dopamine.
it was not just a
detox.
dopamine, it was
It
my
was-
identity.
Yeah.
It was, you could see my craziness, you could see my mix, you could see my talent through the way I dress. But I can still do it while being covered. You can still see I'm a different person and you are a different person. She's a different person, but yet we
Yeah.
all covered for the sake of Allah. All in a different,
Literally.
and they are better than me. There are people,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, that are better than me. And there are people that are worse, but we have to have compassion
So
as well.
When we talk about hijab, obviously we're talking about the covering.
Yeah.
Like,
And there are
the-
rules. People don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent me the conditions
The
of
6
hijab.
or 7 conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was saying to her, like, I don't believe that it's just abaya and
Yeah.
jilbab, and like Allah
But I
made us
think
in
that's an
tribes
issue.
and nations. You
I,
know, we all have culture.
I think, Amira,
Yeah.
we have to as well take responsibility in our community that we try to impose a style
Mm.
of a people that were not Saudi, Arabic. And it's true. It's like
Yeah.
for you to be covered, you have to be dressed like a Saudi person. No, that is the rule, like obviously in a certain country. But
Mm.
you are capable of bringing a bit of sense of identity,
Yeah.
of community, or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like, for example, you bring a kufiye.
Mm-hmm.
Kufiye is from Palestine. It's not from Saudi. Are you going to bring it? Is it going to make you unmodest? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're not wearing lights or diamonds or something that is saying, look at me. But it's for me to wear this or this, is not to say, look at me. It's just for me to express my identity and to feel happy in my modesty. And that's really the motto behind Medina Paris. That's why we have plenty of styles. We didn't keep up just the jilbab because, you know, after a year, we understood that jilbab is not for everyone.
No.
Curvy sisters, they
Yeah.
cannot wear jilbab. It's not the
Yeah.
most modest things on them. So we advise them to break it with a hijab and with a butterfly abaya and or maybe with a kimono, you know, like to play around. You know, like the happiness of a hijabi when she opens her wardrobe,
Yeah.
she has choices. You know, just like in Jahiliyyah, when you
Yeah.
had your jeans, you had your leggings, and you had this and you had that. Now you have your abayas, you have your khimar, you have your jilbabs, you have your skirts and tops.
Yeah.
Things you can mix and match, and it becomes a happy moment.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to your wardrobe, you mix and match. And me, I feel happy since I
Yeah.
have found my sense of
Yeah.
identity,
No, honestly.
my modesty. And I think that's the thing that my sisters are lacking.
Yeah.
Identity and style, but yet respecting the rules of Allah Azza wa Jal. And there are rules, my sisters. There are
Yeah,
6 or 7
true.
rules.
Yeah.
The one that you
Yeah.
shared,
Do you want to say them?
maybe.
Off by
Well,
heart.
I can say one of them. I think one of them is the clothes is meant to be halal, like
Loose.
loose.
Yeah.
Loose.
And another
Not
is not to be
see-through,
perfumed.
not perfume. Do not look like a kafir.
Yeah.
Look
And
like
then
a
it's
man.
okay
man.
to be
Yeah.
not look like a man. And you see, like the thing not to be like a kafir, when we so much seek the validation of the society to accept us.
Yeah.
The modest fashion have changed so much. Is looking more like them than like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is looking more like that than like me,
Yeah.
or like you, or like
I feel
her.
like we really that
When we
whole
suppose not, to, we are okay. We're
we've-
supposed to look different.
beauty has become a currency.
Yeah.
So we are literally in that state
Beautifying everything.
where
yeah.
we try to beautify everything, and it's not easy because obviously when you're everything you see is about beauty.
Yeah.
Everything like you
That's what you're taught,
you
right?
know,
From as
yeah.
a girl, from a young
Yeah.
age. Beauty, like even the toys that you play with, it's all about beauty, right? It's all about
Yeah.
looking good, dressing up, wearing your jewelry, your crowns, like you know, like the little crowns little girls
Yeah.
have. So from a young age, we're constantly taught. And then when we go to our teenage years, we see like music videos, we see like magazines, the TV shows for girls are different to the men. It's all about vanity, right? It's all about looking nice. So now we've got this hijab that's kind of contradicting that and telling us to look at beauty and look at ourselves in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that
it's-
battle is necessary. You need to
Yeah.
go through that battle in order to come out like better and to understand yourself better.
Yeah.
But it's
very
really a
true.
self-confidence like conversation. When you think about your hijab and your struggle, it's all about like the validation, the self-confidence, the sense of happiness inside. And then you care a lot less about, you know, how your clothes are.
I love the fact that, sorry, I'm bringing it back to culture, but
Mm.
I love the fact that, you know, the Sudanese women, how
Yeah.
they wear the hijab. I think it's
And
so
the Senegalese
modest.
as well, yeah.
Senegalese women or Mauritanian women,
Yeah,
like
Yemenite as well, yeah.
they,
Mashallah,
they
all
have different styles, and I think it's okay because I think we have normalized this Arabized type
Yeah.
of style of you know, dressing of the
Yeah.
abaya
Or it's
and
just
things
like
like that,
us
which is
bringing-
beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like I'm wearing a abaya today from
But it's just like, for example,
Saudi.
yeah, mashallah, bless
But,
you.
You know,
But
you
it's
like
about as
it.
well, for example, me and my sister, it was about as well creating practical clothing.
Yeah.
That's why, like, we, like 3 years ago, launched like long tunics with long skirts, something you never seen. Like, you know, with the khimar that coordinated, it's just to ease the movement for the students, for the sisters that are working, or just mothers.
Yeah.
And for example, the sarwal. Sarwal is a bit our culture. It's not Saudi culture. It doesn't exist in Saudi.
Yeah.
But we brought it back because it comes from our culture and it's very mastur and it's very sporty. Yes, it's okay to be a sporty sisters. We do not have to be one and unique person. When you say that to sisters that are desperate to wear the
Yeah,
hijab,
we're
they
not a
don't find
monolith.
their identity.
I think.
Exactly.
And as long as you're, you know, because I
Respecting the
have
rules.
seen some of the styles on on Instagram and stuff like that. And it probably includes me as well, where, I'm still trying to get to that level. I think
Yeah.
it's like Iman. You're
It's a
still
journey.
trying
It's a
to
journey.
get to that level of hijab where it's perfected, but and it's not just about the covering.
How
It's
do you
about
feel about
the character
the
as well.
judgment? Does it encourage you? Because I think people need to really understand that when you speak to someone that you do not know her journey, the fact that people didn't know you wasn't a hijabi before the bitter truth, and mashallah, you wore it out of respect, and that is a respectable move, mashallah. And I think people need to know that when you criticize, like, the warrior, keyboard warrior, like I call them, like, make sure like you are saying something in the sake of Allah, for the sake of the sisters, to correct herself and to wear it. Trust me, the sentence is going to be different.
Yeah.
Then
No, I
I
feel like, and I have to say this because I found that there are a lot of troll accounts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some being non-Muslim,
Some
who
being men.
come to Muslim spaces and just
Some
say
being men.
haram, haram.
Yeah.
You have to be very aware that there's a lot of comments that are non-Muslim people, Islamophobes,
Yeah.
who come into our spaces and start to put comments like this. And yes,
But I
you
think
have
the
some
worst
Muslims
came
as
from
well.
the men's.
Yeah, the men.
Recently with the
a lot of
jacket
the
issue,
comments
like,
were from men about me, like, oh, you're not even wearing your hijab
you
properly.
take care of your sister
You're
and your
not
wife,
even,
brother.
You're not wearing this. You're not like, oh, look,
I'm not
go
your
wear
wife.
your hijab properly first. Like,
But this is what
Subhanallah.
happens, right? When we
You-
go
what
online.
are you doing on the
We
page?
kind of have to both sides, right? We have to
Yeah.
face the trolls and we have to face the good. So it kind of balances it out. We know that when we're going online, there is good.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of learn how to navigate through
that.
Yeah.
through
And
the-
I genuinely like.
Did you go through that as well?
Yeah, I think everyone
Everyone.
everyone
Even for
goes through
colors,
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't have gloves.
Yeah.
Okay,
I did get that's. I think that's
we're doing too
niqab,
much.
gloves, even socks,
We're doing
everything.
too much. So
Okay,
you
you got
told
it
me
all.
about the socks actually.
Yeah.
And I just think I think that's a sunnah, right? It's not a condition.
Yeah. It
And I
depends
just
on the
think
school.
for me, there's certain things I will 100% do. Like I said, you guys make me think. Actually, if I ever wanted to wear niqab one day, I will wear it and I will be happy
Alhamdulillah.
with it because, you know.
Let's just focus
I
on
like
the
the
wajib, because people,
examples.
when you speak about hijab, they
Yes.
always think we speak about niqab, and I hate
Yeah.
people because, not hate people, but many people, the way I said it, you
Yes,
see,
yes.
I'm fixing myself. Don't catch me on that, okay?
Yeah.
The fact that some people worship my niqab, or like they very fantasize like my niqab, I'm like, this is my choice. It has nothing to do with that. Because for me, it's not, in my opinion, it's not fard. And I respect the people that think that it's fard. But let's focus on the hijab. Like, let's focus on the rules of the hijab, of the proper hijab. Sometimes people think when I speak about the hijab, I speak about niqab. No, I'm speaking about hijab. The one that is fard, that will get you in trouble if you don't wear it. And we are scared of saying the things. My sister, if I'm reminding you, it's because I don't want you to end up in Jahannam. And every rule that Allah Azza wa Jalla has implemented on you, and on me, it's always for our blessing. We just don't get it yet.
We don't get it.
We don't get it. We think we know better, or this makes us
or
happy.
Our desires are really high.
No, it
and
makes us happy.
outweighing,
It's a fake sense of happiness that is actually self-destructive. Everything that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the non-alcohol, the no pork, the no mixity,
it's all got logic
all
behind
for
it.
us to live the best way of life.
Yeah, so
for
all the societal poisons that are out
the
there,
standards now we
it
see, now we
literally
speak about them.
eliminates those poisons. It
Exactly.
gets rid of those poisons.
Especially in the era of social media, where appearances, where the beauty standard has destroyed the whole generation of women.
Yes.
I think as well it's destroyed
and
like,
filters.
the
Oh my
hijab,
God.
like
Yeah.
online
Yes.
social media, even influence. I think they've destroyed the understanding of hijab.
Yeah.
in
It's
the
very
sense that
sexualized. Let's
it's
talk about
just
that.
The heads, like when you go online, you type in hijab, you just see the headscarf. So I think you become stuck in this idea that as soon as you just put the headscarf on, you're okay. And there is nothing to kind of lead you on to what is the hijab, because you already understand it's just the headscarf, and you think
Sometimes they don't even understand it themselves why
Yeah.
they wore
But
it.
I
You
think
can
that
see-
is
you
a
can
struggle though, because especially when I was listening to Sheikh Asim, I think today.
Hakim. Isn't
Yeah,
it? He's
him.
famous
He's
on
so
YouTube,
funny.
isn't he?
He's so funny.
The killer.
But he said something.
very
He was
blunt.
like, "Don't
Yeah.
focus on the specifics
Yeah.
of hijab. Don't complicate it for yourselves." He was like, "These are the conditions of hijab. If you're from this place, this is how you wear it. If you're from that place, this is how you wear it. But don't be so haram police." Basically, that's what he was saying.
And actually, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, said it to adapt your hijab to the region where you are. Why?
Yes, that's what he said
Because
as
you
well.
can become outstanding. If I go to Saudi, less likely will I wear. I mean, maybe not Saudi today, but Saudi like 15 or maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I would have liked to blend in, like, you know, like don't. For example, if you do. Here we are in a society of diversity. You can wear whatever you want, because we are different community, different backgrounds in one country. But if you go to a country, for example, you go to Africa where everyone is wearing like colorful things. Maybe if you're wearing black, maybe you're going to stand out, you know? And Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, in his part, when he speaks about the hijab, he was saying to adapt yourself to the, for example, if you're in a group of women, 10 women that wear niqab and you're the only one that's not wearing it, wear it. Because you become outstanding.
And by adapt, like it's not changed.
No, it's not changed. It's just to adapt.
You're still fulfilling the conditions.
Exactly. And I found
like, even now for women who are working like myself and other women who do work, like wearing a abaya sometimes in my role, it's not practical to
www.madinaparis.com. I'm just saying. No, I'm joking, because those are the matters that we cover every day with my sister when we sit and design something. We try it and we actually do that. We try the clothing and we work with it. To see, like, is it the arms gonna like uncover? So we need to add this. The movement of the legs. So everyone laughs, but we make like, when, you know, we are with the sewing people, we make like big movements. And one day, like a person asked us, like, what are you doing? I said, we're testing it. And it's true. Because when men, they just want you covered. Important. They don't want you to move.
Because, you know, like, for example, wearing trousers and just like a shirt, like an oversized shirt and flary trousers, something loose, to me, that I would class it as modest. But according to the conditions and stuff, that wasn't hijab.
Even
that's
the term modest, right? Like, I feel like it's changed, right? Like, how I understand modest is like haya, right? It's actually a character. Modesty is a character. In terms of the hijab, that's the actual physical, the garment, right? The physical thing. So when people like mixing modesty now with hijab, it's like, it's confusing. Because, you know, like you see these new modest
fashion
inspos or modest thing. The outfit in and of itself doesn't actually meet
the requirement.
But in terms of even the way they carry themselves, it's not modest. Does that make sense? So I feel like
it's
these
not because
terms
it's loose, it's modest.
have lost their what's that word? They've lost their understanding, their meaning. It's changed because now modesty is not. It's related to clothes. When it's actually Islamically, haya is actually related to how you carry yourself, how you speak.
Even hijab. When you think about hijab, it's a whole piece of clothing. It's not just normally.
It's the head to toe, right?
It's the head to toes. So when you're thinking about it, you're thinking, are you saying that this piece is modest according to you, or according to Allah Azza wa Jal, the rules He has implemented? When you think about hijab,
it's because I think they compare. Sorry to cut you, but I think it's because they're comparing themselves from somebody wearing bikini and being quite naked to someone that's wearing like a
I can't follow their definition. And when you think about how the modest fashion is going, it's very sexualizing hijab. We're having tighter clothes, and even what you find in H&M and Primark, you have even tighter clothes. Like the sense of haya, and I completely agree, mashallah, with my sister here, saying that we are losing the sense. So it's very important to go back to the rules and to go back to the conditions.
Are important.
One rule that helped me: do not go out in a piece that you can't pray in. That was my rule, and that has saved me so many times. Thinking, oh, I like those loose trousers. Will you pray in it? No way. I would wear my jilbab for my salat because I know the angels and, you know, the rule, the relationship with the angel. And one of the other rule, try not to see the separation between you, like your body. For example, if I'm wearing something extremely tight, all the way you're gonna see the separation, and you can guess my size. Try to make it the more loose possible, so people doesn't define you. They don't identify. You can identify me with my eyes and my voice. But it's the fact that you're not defined by your body. And I find this amazing. I find this a blessing.
I think feminists, honestly, like, I think
they should wear
completely wrong. Honestly, because they go on about, oh, it's my body, my choice, or my body. You know, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It's not even choice, because it is our body. It is our choice.
It is.
But you know, that whole notion. But I think the most feminist thing you can do is wear the hijab, because I control who watches my body. I control who views it. I'm in control of that. It's so liberating and it's so empowering. You bring back the power to yourself.
That's exactly.
Because even in Paris, for example, the men are pissed off, sorry to say,
They want to
because you
die
want
to
to
see
cover.
us.
Yeah.
How can you be so mad that I'm wearing this?
No, and
A
it's funny
cloth.
because they are the first
It's
one to speak
weird.
about Iran and Taliban.
Yeah.
You're
but
actually
you're
worse
doing
than
it.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
You are stopping us from
worse.
education. You are stopping us
Yeah.
from sports. You are stopping us. You ain't better than Taliban.
Yeah.
The one that you are criticizing, when it's actually their culture, is their.
But my thing is, what is the threat? What is the threat of this? Is it because maybe the more women that wear it, it kind of takes away from their $1 billion industry of
Oh,
just
yeah.
over sexualization?
Mhm.
What is the threat of it? Or is it just shaitan?
I think it's resistance as well of
Okay.
women
That's a good word,
refusing to
actually,
submit
that's
to
a good word.
men's needs because they want to see you, they
Yeah,
want to
they
see your
wanna
body,
see
they want you
you.
to be available for their eyes. And
Mm.
I think we don't realize it. That's why feminists, like you say, they should be the more pro hijab ever of all of
Yeah,
us,
of all of them.
because we are deciding who's going to see us. You're not serving the society, you're just serving the men when you're getting yourself
I'm so
naked
sorry.
to develop.
In the whole working industry,
Mm.
corporate like industry, women now who literally have arthritis in their foot,
Are wearing
foot is
heels.
bent,
Yeah.
bent this two directions and all this stuff from wearing heels in the
Yeah.
office for 25 years.
For who? When you think
so
about it,
to do what?
for men.
I'm so sorry. Why am I in some uncomfortable heels my whole working life?
Even the
Just
suit,
for-
even the suit of women to men.
Yeah,
If you look at the suits, right, they're like very tight pencil skirts,
yeah.
mini.
So
The blazers are
restrictive.
tight and they're shaped in like a way that
Yeah.
kind of
Even school,
Is more sexual.
even school uniform. Who
Mm.
created young skirts for girls? Like,
Yeah.
they're supposed to go to school and play
Yeah.
and be able to jump around.
Yeah,
Who decided? It was actually men's.
it's men.
But no one questioned that.
Men
Decided for
who
women.
just want us to be naked all the time and just view us. And again,
You see the threat now?
there is no compulsion in Islam. There is
Mm.
no compulsion in Deen. It's not a force.
yeah.
Anyone who does it should be doing it for the sake of Allah and for the sake of themselves. And also understanding that hijab is an umbrella term. You know, there's more to hijab than just this. It's about your character as well. Because, you know,
Yeah,
I
but
was
you can have
listening to
both.
a sheikh.
I don't like when people separate this, because it's like they're shifting the focus on, yeah, but your character, it's like you cannot do both. Yeah, let's do both.
No, do
Let's
both.
develop haya in our character,
Yeah.
inshallah. And haya, one doesn't,
Yeah.
because the way they're speaking about it very often is to defend the people that do not wear it, do not, it's okay.
At least like she has she's more modest than
Yeah,
a sister
maybe
who
she's
doesn't
more
wear
modest
it
than
or
you.
does
Yeah,
Why
wear
are
it.
you
There's this
taking down sisters
comparison.
that?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm going to tell you something as well. We need to stop judging hijabi sisters for being human beings.
Yeah.
Because you are
yeah.
putting off so many sisters that want to
Yeah.
wear the hijab, but they are scared
It's
of the
because
judgment.
you put women who wear hijab on a pedestal.
Exactly. Let me
They
give
are
you an
not
equation.
saints. They're not perfect. Like, hijabi women will make mistakes. Women who wear hijab are gonna
Thank
fancy
you.
boys. Women who wear hijab are gonna smoke. Women who wear
They're going to
hijab,
swear. They're not going to be
swear.
perfect.
They're not gonna be perfect.
Each one of us, like,
Stop putting them on pedestals.
and
It's weird.
I think that's what we talk a lot about on Sister Soul, is about this rawness. Like, I have this struggle and I have this struggle.
Yeah.
And don't worship, like, you know, like a appearances. And I'm going to give you a rule, an equation that whenever I say it, it kept people like questioning and wondering, especially men's. I'm like, okay, you have a sisters, let's just say you come on the street and you look at a sister and she's or without a hijab, she's smoking. But then the other hijabi, they're smoked. I'm not saying it's haram for both of them.
For both.
But think about it Islamically. You have the two sisters. One is covered, one is not covered. The same are doing the same sin. We agree. Smoking is haram according to
But
certain
one
schools.
represents.
One's got two sins and one's got one sin. You understand now?
Yeah.
Praise the one that made more effort. She's not perfect. I'm not saying she should be smoking in the street. That's not what I'm trying to say. She should fear Allah, because, like you say, in a way she's representing, but she's not perfect.
Yeah.
Let's just say maybe she's cursing. Maybe smoking is not the right example. Maybe she's cursing, she's fighting with someone. The non-hijabi is not going to make you react. You
But
don't care
even
about
if
that
she
woman.
was smoking, obviously,
No, I'm just trying to.
I'm against smoking.
I'm just trying
I
to
don't think
explain the
smoking is good.
equation of two sins and
Yeah,
one sin.
one sin, yeah.
Appreciate the sister. Encourage her to remove the sin that is left, rather than criticize her for the other blessing that she did,
Yeah.
for the right thing she did. Encourage her to live. It's like for us. Oh, you know what? I heard you swearing. Don't pray. You don't say that to someone that prays for the ibadah.
Yeah.
Hijab is a ibadah. Don't tell someone because she did that sin, she shouldn't be wearing the
And
hijab.
I would say as well, like that is, I think what applies to that as well is definitely like if a sister is struggling with her hijab,
Exactly.
don't put her off even
No,
more
encourage her.
by
Yeah.
saying, oh, you know, you're not really wearing the right hijab. Okay, well, I tried. What do you want me to do?
I think the issue,
There is a
Amira,
way.
or
There
that
is a way
one?
to
Yeah.
speak, right?
There's a way to speak.
And a
But
way
I
to
think we
advise
have
someone.
this-
Yeah, there's a hikmah behind
Yeah.
it because that could. Luckily, I'm just thick-skinned, but if
Some people
it
are
was
more.
someone that's a bit weaker and who takes on other people's criticism in that way, then I could have taken off the hijab
But
completely.
I do have issues when those people are influencers.
Mm,
They gain the population according to the right hijab they were wearing, and then slowly removing it. I don't have an issue with that. But when you do tutorial on a hijab that is not a hijab, that is misleading, I will point it out.
Yeah.
Because you are teaching sisters, you know, wallahi, I know sisters, they used to wear proper hijab. Since they are on social media and they are following certain influencers, that's it, turban. Now
Yes,
turban
it's
style.
one thing to struggle as an
Mm.
influencer, right? And to you're representing yourself. So it's one thing to
Exactly.
struggle, but then to use terms like hijab or to use terms like modesty
Tutorial,
or
hijab
terms like
tutorial.
hijab friendly or like these
Yeah.
terms, they're actually confusing the people watching because you're
It,
now
it
saying
does. The youth.
that this outfit is hijab. This outfit is
See,
modest.
okay, so I'll put it into context from what you've just said.
Yeah.
So, for example, a revert who is just coming to Islam
Revert
and
is different.
she's
Yeah.
typing in hijab, and then this is what she's getting. She thinks that's the norm
Yeah.
of hijab, and she's like, okay, well, that's not too
Yeah.
bad. I can wear that. But what you're
Turban
saying is
tutorial,
it's
like-
misleading.
It's not even just
It's-
misleading. It's not even representing what
It's
it
not.
claims
It's
to
wrong.
represent.
It's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like it's like me saying, how do I explain? Like I'm doing a tutorial. I don't know. Like
Linguistically, it's
yeah,
wrong.
it's not. It doesn't
Yeah.
match. Like it's not even hijab.
So people should just stop
Using
doing
hijab.
hijab.
Using
Just
hijab as well.
Not
outfit
stop
of the
using-
day.
not
Just say
stop-
outfit
yeah.
of the day,
Not-
but
No, just put
don't
scarf.
try to
Just say like
represent
you're wearing
it.
a scarf, but don't say you're wearing hijab. Hijab
Yeah.
has a meaning. Hijab has a rules,
And
especially when
yeah.
you do a hijab tutorial where the neck is showing, the hair is half showing. It's okay. Do your hairstyle.
It's just the
But don't
term
say
when
it's
it's
a
used.
hijab.
Yeah.
Because I know people that are very honest, are really trying to put the hijab and they're following them and they're leaving the right hijab for this one,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And yeah, so we just have to be careful, like to be patient, to be compassionate, but as well to hold accountable the people that are using the hijab for clap or for,
clout.
yeah.
Well, that's it for today. I think we've definitely
Yeah,
hit a
covered.
lot of the topics of hijab and
May Allah make it
the-
easy.
May Allah make it easy. We're
Ameen.
not perfect. We're all struggling. We're all trying to wear it. Me, myself, I know some people don't like the word journey of hijab.
Yeah, that's a
It's
whole
a
nother.
fard.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
nother topic. But you know, me myself being on this journey of life, it's life is a journey. We're
It is.
travelers in this life. Whilst I'm here and I'm still developing and still getting to that level of iman, it is a journey, and
It is.
no one has a stick of measurement of
And it's not
level of
because you have
iman. No
it.
one knows how much iman
Yeah.
you have, I have, or you have. We are just striving to be the best that we can, and as long as we're doing that with good intentions, I think that's
And
the
asking
most
Allah's
important thing.
assistance, always asking Allah's guidance.
Oh yes.
If we have the struggle, have the honesty in your sujood to speak about it. Ya Allah, I'm struggling with my hijab. We like this kind of humility to just verbalize it. I'm struggling. And maybe taking the right step, like talking to the right people, go back to the books. What is
Yeah,
the
that's the most
remind
important,
yourself,
yeah.
even me, even Sister Bint Aten, don't be scared to play again a reminder about the hijab when you are weak.
Yeah.
You know, play those reminders. If you have to play them every day, be reminded every day
Yeah.
of the blessing
And
of hijab.
speak to sisters, like speak to the sisters. You
Mm.
know, I reached out, like when I was struggling with it.
She did.
I've
She
reached
did.
out. I'm like, bro, I am struggling with
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard. I don't feel attractive. I don't feel good. I don't think it
Connected,
suits
yeah,
me.
mashallah.
I said the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I just had to keep reminding myself. And obviously I had
And I
great
love that
reminders
about you.
from the sisters. Alhamdulillah.
I love that about you, the honesty that you were not
Yeah.
scared to say it. And I think this is the beginning of the goodness. This is the beginning of the change when you admit that I am struggling. So you're reaching out and Allah Azza wa Jalla is doing the rest, inshallah.
Yes,
So well
inshallah.
done to you.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Well done to all of us.
To all of
and
you as well, my
yes, to all
sisters.
of the sisters.
Yeah,
But alhamdulillah, we will strive to be better and
Inshallah.
perfect our hijab, our true hijab, with the conditions set for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's it. So, assalamu
Alhamdulillah.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Should we
Kabish,
do a quick
kabash.
one? Another
was good.
episode?
I think I've got to
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
What time is it?
That was
My kids
amazing.
are in the
Well
car.
done.
4:23. Are they?
Yeah, just downstairs in the car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My husband
that's
wasn't working tonight, then I would have stayed longer.
Yes,
Well
yes,
done.
But he's
Shukr.
It was good.
Yeah, it
mashallah,
was
good.
really
you
good.
could do an
Even,
intimate
like-
one if you've got time.
Yeah, we could
I think
do, yeah.
I think, mashallah, the
into
point you
depth.
made through.
But I
and
do get a lot of mind blocks.
Yeah,
No,
me
you
too.
didn't.
I
No,
think
you
Brian needs
didn't.
to
There's a lot of
bring
silence.
notes.
you
a lot.
spoke. No, you didn't
No?
bring
Oh,
any
I
silence.
guess
You
it's for-
spoke. Whenever you spoke, mashallah, you had a very good
Amazing.
idea. You
Yeah.
argued it. And I loved like your hijab story because I'm sure a lot can relate, like
Yeah.
with the
'Cause
struggle.
that would
like,
explain the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the journey is a big.
Yeah.
People don't either like that term or they
No,
don't
I
like
love
that
it.
term.
It's- and it's a
but
true
it is
term.
a journey.
It's a journey.
Because look, from when you were 17
Yeah.
to now, it's developed so much.